All right, so in this video, as a small up and coming vendor, I'm going to talk about my experience scaling a Pokemon card business from starting with $500 to doing over $20,000 in sales in 4 months now. And kind of like my steps through that. It's going to be pretty like all over the place. Not too planned. I'm a little rusty. I've been slacking on the content, but I feel now I have like the credibility to speak on a lot of these things, and better explain it. And I'm planning to do a series on like how to grow as a small vendor, because I found that a lot of people are coming to me now and asking. I mean, I'm asking people that are bigger than me, but then other people that are like next to me and they're asking me how to get along and how to scale. So let's just go ahead and get into it. But yeah, how I went from $500 to I'm sitting at about a little under 6,000 in inventory. So I actually initially started. It started about a year ago in May of 2025. I was just ripping packs like I've been doing my whole life, and it was like, man, I need to like make some of this money back so I can continue to rip, because I would do this yearly thing where I would get super into Pokemon. This is like once a year. But then I get carried away, and like next thing I know, like I've spent 600 this week. I spent $1,000 just ripping, like just straight ripping. That's it. Chilling in Discord, doing like live streams, and yeah, having a good time, ripping with my friends. And then now, like my son, hence the name Collector Dad. And I'm Collector Dad if it's your first time here, but welcome back if you're back. So I actually started out TCG a year ago, and I started selling, and it was going pretty good. I was following PokePaster's kind of like guidelines on how to grow a Pokemon card business, and it was working. Except I wasn't buying anything; I was only selling to get to level 4. But then life got in the way, and I basically forgot about it for almost a year. And then so where the $500 comes in, I went and bought 2 EBO3. This is one piece, the heroines, the girl set, booster boxes when it came out. Happened to pull like a $1,400 card out of that. And then that kind of like, boom. Oh yeah, like the repressed memory of like, I was trying to do this a year ago, and then, got off track. So of course, sold the card and then started rolling that in. And I sold the card on TCG Player as well with a lot of like what personal collection I had from growing up. Because I mean, like we were broke, we were poor. I might have got like a pack or two a month, or like a 10 here and there. So like it wasn't a lot. It wasn't anything like good. But sold off what I had and then what I had been ripping. And so now in March, I'm back to it. I start selling like just lowest listed on TCG Player to be able to move cards, because they're good cards. They're full arts, IRs, SIRs, whatever I can get out of just ripping. And then I started taking that sales money, and I would actually go to a local card shop that just opened, like right as I'm starting this. I discovered Whatnot, or actually used it. I had actually had an account since they first started pushing ads, but I actually tried Whatnot. Very quickly started spending like way too much money on there, and I was like, well, I should probably start trying to stream on Whatnot. But so I did, and I start with this local card shop they just opened. And here's kind of like a tip, like definitely like don't be afraid to take risk and like spend money. Like you got to provide value to someone. So from this shop, I'm coming in, I'm spending 500, 1,000, 1,500 a week, at least $500, because I'm buying inventory for Whatnot. So at first I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just grabbing everything. And I went into it first 3 streams expecting to lose money. I actually made money. Like I profited on the first 2 streams, like a good amount, 300 each stream. And then the third one, not so good, but the first one was like so hot. And this is something you kind of want to like prepare for, that there's not really a way to prepare for. Like your first of anything, like selling, going like super well, and then you're like, oh, this is it. It's gonna be great every time. Like I've figured it out. I've got the key. But no, it's not necessarily always like that. But yeah, so I started buying. I'm buying for like a month and a half, just full market, and then eventually, they start giving me a percentage off, giving me, a discount because I'm buying so much from them. There was even like a point they're starting out. I bought so much that they closed the next day and went to Collecticon and like to re-up their to go source cards. Like I was buying a lot at full market. So while I'm doing that, I've gotten to level 4 on TCG, and then so still like ripping as well. And the bigger cards I would get that I know I'm gonna get cooked on and whatnot, I'd throw them on TCG Player, and then I would buy cards to sell on whatnot. And I'll do a series too on like how to build a whatnot as well, because here's another like amateur pro tip. You want as many sales funnels as possible. So like right now, and I'll kind of like build up and get there. So I started on TCG Player, then whatnot. I built up a whatnot, and then I had a goal of vending, and I was telling them like I have 6 months, and this is 4 months ago. So then 2 months later, I do my first show. So like I'm already ahead of schedule. I'm an impatient person, and I'm gonna go get it, and I did. So with that goal, 2 months later in May, I did my first show, and this is again like where it gets you. First show, like I didn't really know what to expect. I was a little like super paranoid about my inventory. I walked in with about $900 of buying power, and I was buying the entire time. There's not really card shows here locally. We have trade days once a month, and then that's it. I think first card show in at least 2 years that I know of. But like I'm having a great time. Like immediately, like an hour, 2 hours, I'm super nervous like on the build up. Only reason I hadn't like already booked the show is because I would have to go out of town. But one happened to pop up locally. I was like, this is my chance to try it, like test run, see if this is for me. So I'll say one thing, like vending's not for everybody. Selling Pokemon's cards, like doing any kind of business, not everything is just how it is. It's life. So first show, I mean, it's like going great. I'm not sure like where I'm at sales wise like yet, because it's super busy the first few hours, but I'm having a great time. I've got my kids there helping, and I'm buying the whole time. And long story short, like I'm hooked. I am like, bro, I want to do this. I've tried 1,000, like this is a GPU mining rig. I used to do GPU mining. I've done websites on the side. I went to college, did like flip shoes and stuff here and there. But like this vending took the cake. Like I was like, this is it. This is it. I think this is it. And so I end up at the end of the day, I've got about $2,500. I started with $900. I'm about $2,500 cash. I've been buying the entire time. Like everything that's good, I've been buying, trading, boom, 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 sealed, singles, whatever. It's like I'm still pretty early. I don't necessarily what to buy. I'm just buying everything. Everything that comes to me, if it's like damage, whatever, then I'm just doing a percentage of that. If it's damage, I'll be lower because it does do well on whatnot. Because there's a lot of like binder copy collectors. So I'm buying everything. I mean everything. Having a blast at it too. So yeah, I ended up walking like $2,500 cash. And once I like slowed down like 4 or 5 hours into the show, and I like see where I'm at, and I'm like, well, what? We've done like $2,000 to $3,000 in sales today. My first show, like I'm like, this is awesome. But then I'm still nervous to, again, like any other shows are gonna be out of town. I'm gonna have to travel. Like closest to me would be like Dallas Fort Worth area. That's where I go a lot now. And I can't pull myself to go and like book a table. One, like spend the money on the table. Two, and like go somewhere I haven't been and people I don't know, you know, it's just like part of doing something new. But then a show called Cards on the Harbor pops up, and like they had actually messaged me before this even the first show, and like, hey, we're looking for vendors. I'm like, hey, I'm new, like I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know if you want me there. And they're like, hey, we work with big vendors, small vendors, new vendors, old vendors, veteran vendors, square, rectangle, triangle, square, circle, X, everybody. So I'm like, okay, think about it. I want to, yes. Like I want to do it, but I'm scared. I'm nervous, man. Like this is a new venture for me. So like I can't really like get myself to pull the trigger on it. But then and we have the month to month trade days, so like I get to kind of like know local vendors around me, and it turns out like they're going to Cards on the Harbor. So I was like, all right, cool. Like I booked the table. We're all kind of like, we basically have like a section, and three of us are right next to each other, and then a gap, and one other person, and on the other side another local vendor. There, like awesome. Cards on the Harbor, I mean, great show. I'm going in between. I'm still doing whatnot in between this, like once or twice a week. Started off doing like twice, and then I kind of dialed down to once a week because I was having a problem like sourcing the inventory because like I go from like buying at full market to 90 between 90 and 95%. Um, yeah, so, but then like I would run a show, and one thing too, like I had a problem with, like I would get too inventory heavy and like I have no money, like I don't have money like to pay my bills and stuff because like I over prepared for whatnot or show or something. Like it's just part of the process. And but so then the second show, Cards on the Harbor, it's out of town. You know, it's about a 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive. Go have a great time. Like get to know these local vendors even better. Me personally, I'm gonna go. I see somebody like doing better than me, or like it's not even that they're doing, like they're ahead of me. I am trying to be. I don't really know at this point know like my goals, but I know like, hey, that person like I want to do that. I'll go. I'm talking to everybody, man. Like conversation, like, hey, how did you do this? How did you get where you're at? And a lot of people were super helpful. But after that group show, like really was like the catalyst. Like it was the like motivation that I needed. Because after that, this is so first show is in end of May, and then the next second show with only a trade day, 2 trade days, like kind of around and in between. Next show is the end of June, so like a whole month, and like I'm doing whatnot, but like I'm wanting to vend, but I don't have any tables. I don't know what shows to do and stuff. But after that second show with everyone kind of local, like I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. It really and that's the thing. Like the first show set my expectations up here, and you have to watch out for this, like because I did 2, 3, maybe even more in sales. I really wasn't able to track it that well. I've actually built a asset tracker over the last couple weeks and got to use it, but I'll kind of get to that in a minute. Sorry, where was I at? So like the second show, I don't really have like the inventory. Like I don't have I used to, like people would walk up and be like, you got great, like other vendors or like people I know, or like the shop owner that I know, like, dude, I might have to come buy from your table, like, because I've got good cards because I'm buying at or around market, a lot of like trade bait and like whatnot. I have figured out what people want on whatnot, so it kind of goes for shows too. And so everything I had, like that show goes really well. Well, then the second show, Cards on the Harbor, for one, like it's out of town, everything's new place, new venue. Got my kids with me helping. It just kind of I'd only done like $200 in sales, like 5 hours in, and there's like 2 hours left. This was the first time I actually put out one-piece cards because for me locally they never did well, and I also didn't put that many out. But that's because I collect one piece most primarily, So I wasn't really willing to let go of cards, and I decided to like put basically my PC out and some decent cards, and then a good transaction there of like $300 within the last 2 hours saved the day, saved the show for me. Of course, I like pulled cards, so I'm in them for cost of a few packs, and that makes it like a good show. Break even, profited. Not I know I profited some, but I kind of call it break even. But at that point, like the fire is lit. I started booking shows. Like I started doing a weekly trade show that's like an hour and a half, 2 hours away. I booked like every weekend. Like I'm up to 5 shows now, 5 actual shows and 5 trade days between our monthly and there's one coming up. So the fourth one hasn't quite come up yet. So it'd be 3 local and then 2 I went out of town, like middle of the week trade days. Yet again, one of the first time was the first experience there. Second time it was the second time. Like I'm hooked. I just finished my 5th show. That was a 2-day show, only an hour away. Great show. I've got 2 shows booked next weekend. I believe the weekend after that, and then for next month in August, I think I have 2 weekends open, but I'm looking to fill at minimum one of them. I dumped about $1,000 probably on table fees, like just real quick. I've got even a show booked all the way in September, but the fire was lit. Like the ball was rolling, and yeah, just kind of touch on like some mistakes I've made along the way, being too worried about my inventory. Being afraid, like nervous to just like jump in. Like I would hear and listen to the advice that I watch, like videos like I'm making now, that other people make, and they're just like, don't worry about your inventory, just go. Like show up, have some money, buy there, like just go. That not really, I'm ahead of schedule, but I feel like it put me a month behind because after the first one I should have just booked whatever I could find a couple weeks. But also at that point, like I'm still learning. I didn't even know how to like find shows. But this video is getting pretty long. Try to keep it under at around 20 minutes. So let's go over like some of the numbers. So started with $500 and like what cards I had left from not selling on TCG Player. So for Whatnot being my primary vehicle of like moving cards, and this is payout. So after fees, total for Whatnot 9,000, and this one blew my mind. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been doing Whatnot I did it for a solid like 2 months, very consistent, and then like I'm 4 months in. Like the last 2 months since I've been vending, it's not as consistent. I might do a show a week or like every other week, just because I like the vending more, and then I'm trying to like build the system, like the feed the machine, buy at the shows. Maybe I buy everything. I sell stuff on TCG Player, Whatnot, and some at shows. So this number blew my mind though when I went and actually like looked. I kept track of it for like the first few weeks, and then I just recently went back through my payouts and just added up the payouts. So I mean, this isn't sales. This is just money I've received. $9,132 from Whatnot after fees and like refunds. I've had a few refunds and stuff. That blew my mind. And then so TCG Player, and this is only I'm not counting last year the sales I did. This is only this year, starting in March. And to present day. And this is also payout, so after fees, $4,228. And then, so, let's see. Total payouts, $17,860 between TCG Player and Whatnot. And let's say, sorry. And then that's also going to be the sales from shows. So about $4,500 in sales between all the shows and trade days. So call it 10. So what? That's $450 in sales like per show. You break it down kind of like that. Not bad. Like considering like I have most shows I've gone one with like $5,000 in inventory, and then the rest have been about three. Like I have about $4,000 in available inventory, and I'll look at that in a second. And then so in the last couple weeks, I actually built this like asset manager here, so I can actually like see this is my realized profit over the last week of actually tracking. I had a big show last weekend, but it was big and didn't know what to expect. Didn't have the inventory, but I didn't have a second to write anything down. Every single time I sat down to try and like track something, update collector, I got busy again. So $1,200 in realized profit. That's actual like profit. And then so on the 17, we'll call it 17.9K in sales. There's a very wide range. Like I said, at points I was buying full market, and then like 90. Of course, there's like trading at 80, and buying between 60 and 70. And then there's cards I pulled, and like my cost is but we're gonna call it average of 75% that I'm like into the cards that have been sold, and this is payout as well. So it's kind of, I feel like this is like fair to kind of guesstimate. So it comes out with for sure $1,200 in profit over the last week. It comes out to $5,665 in profit in 4 months. Starting like with, my minuscule collection and $500, a little bit of luck, and just like rolling that over. Like, I mean, this is it. And like today, I've been slacking on the content, but like content has been a dream of mine. So forever, I've tried I've done moto vlogs, video games, like vids, everything. I've done, you name it. I've tried it. So but like today, and I've got my scalper bag with the Cubone or Marowak skull. Today, like I went to the bathroom break and like looked in the mirror, washed my hands, and I was like, this is the first time I was like, damn, I got of course the tag thing, the lanyard. Like I look like a vendor. I look like a vendor. I feel like a vendor at this point. I'm 5 shows, 5 trade days. We'll call it. Some people will call that 10 shows. I don't really like to, but we'll call it 5 to 10 shows. I'm calling it 5. 5 shows in, I'm gaining experience and just trying different things, trying different inventory, and like it's crazy. Like I mean, I'm trying to move like more into slabs because for me, I have a car. I don't want to get a big like gas guzzling truck or something. Everything fits in my car as it is, decently well. Fits me and my kids whenever we're going. Like collector dad, I feel like I like to have my kids there. They enjoy it. They have a good time. But like just like wheeling and dealing, like figuring out like what works and like what's the deal and stuff. Like I picked this up today. I got this for an absolute steal. I won't go into the numbers, but moving into slabs, and like it's Reshiram and Charizard tag team, and I got it for a steal. Like I'm not mad if I have to sit on this for a little bit. But my goal is like everything fit in like the Zion case, like the carrying case. But yeah, so it's been collector dad. It's been great getting back to it. I've got some videos planned, like because I want to also be able to help people in my shoes now, people that were in the same shoes I was 4 months ago, a year ago, 2 months ago, a week ago. So I've got a few different series planned. Make sure you hit a like, hit the like button, hit subscribe. leave a comment. Let me know what you want to see. If you have any questions, if you're like interested in vending, or just like growing a Pokemon business in general, and different ways to go about that. But definitely expect some more videos. I've got a lot planned in the backlog. I've just not necessarily had the time, because I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I am very tired. I work a full-time job. I have an hour and a half commute to work, and then I usually have a 2-hour commute to 90% of the shows I do. But like, this is it for me. It's fun, and I'm not necessarily profit maxing. I'm having a good time, making a little bit of money, and then we'll see where it goes. But yeah, this video is getting super long. So yeah, it's been me, Collector Dad. Again, like, comment, subscribe, dislike, I don't know, just something. I'm here for you. You got me, I got you. And yeah, till the next one.